Get back! Get back! Put your weapons down! Put your weapons down!
All right, hold it. Just take.
The movie begins in the Middle East, where a heavily guarded Hezbollah terrorist camp is shown in a remote and isolated desert region. Armed men patrol the area continuously, carrying automatic weapons, while tall watchtowers surround the camp to keep a close eye on anyone approaching. The environment feels tense and dangerous. Inside the camp, the militants are holding a man hostage. They torture him brutally by beating him repeatedly, trying to force information out of him. The hostage tells them that he is a soldier from the United States Army and begs them to stop. However, the leader of the group does not believe his words. He becomes even more aggressive and beats the hostage again in front of the others. To create fear, the leader slowly loads a revolver, spinning the chamber before pointing the gun at the man, clearly ready to execute him. At the same time, far away from the camp, a U.S. Special Forces unit prepares for a high-risk rescue operation. The team is led by Major Don Harding, an experienced and disciplined officer. His unit consists of several elite soldiers, including Bear, Wyatt, and Reyes. Each member has a clearly defined role, such as heavy weapon support, reconnaissance, communications, and close combat fighting.
Smoking will kill you.
The soldiers carefully check their gear, weapons, and mission plans, fully aware that one mistake could cost lives. Their objective is clear and urgent: locate the terrorist camp and rescue the American hostage being held by militants connected to Hezbollah before it is too late. As the Special Forces team approaches the terrorist compound, they move silently through the darkness. One by one, they eliminate the guards using suppressed weapons, making sure no alarms are raised. Their movements are precise and well coordinated. After securing the outer area, the soldiers plant small explosive charges at different strategic points around the camp. Without wasting time, they continue advancing toward the main building where the hostage is believed to be held. Eventually, the team reaches the structure. After carefully confirming the location, they breach the door and storm inside. However, the situation suddenly turns dangerous. The terrorist leader grabs the hostage and holds him at gunpoint, threatening to kill him if the soldiers do not lower their weapons.
Put your weapons down! Put your weapons down!
Put the weapon down!
Put your weapons down!
All right, hold it. Just take.
With no other option, the team follows his orders and slowly lowers their guns to avoid putting the hostage at risk. At the same time, a U.S. sniper positioned at a distance keeps the entire scene under close surveillance. When the terrorist leader becomes distracted for a brief moment, the sniper takes the shot. The bullet hits the leader instantly, killing him on the spot. With the threat neutralized, the soldiers quickly secure the hostage and escort him out of the building. As the team escapes the compound, the previously planted explosives are activated. One by one, powerful explosions tear through the camp, destroying buildings and eliminating remaining militants. Amid the chaos and fire, the team reaches the extraction point and boards a small boat. Enemy fighters open fire from behind, but the soldiers manage to escape safely. During the getaway, Major Don Harding reassures the shaken hostage, telling him that he is now safe and in good hands.
Relax, kid. We're the good guys.
Soon after, the story shifts to Eastern Europe. In a post-war country called Moldonia, the region is shown as unstable and deeply scarred by conflict, still suffering from the aftermath of the Bosnian War. Ruined buildings, broken roads, and damaged infrastructure paint a picture of destruction. Armed patrols roam the streets, highlighting the ongoing ethnic tension, fear, and lawlessness in the area. Local civilians are seen being beaten and threatened by soldiers, who forcibly remove families from their homes and order them to evacuate the area. Through these scenes, the film introduces General Hasib Rafandek, a former Bosnian military commander who has been convicted of war crimes. Rafandek is believed to be responsible for continuing ethnic cleansing operations in the region, making him one of the most feared and dangerous figures in Moldonia.
You are to be transported across the border.
At this point, an American photojournalist named Wendy Teller is introduced. She is traveling through dangerous rural areas, documenting reports of ethnic violence, illegal executions, and mass graves. Wendy is brave and deeply committed to her work. She believes that the world deserves to know the truth about what is happening in Moldonia, no matter how risky it may be. During one of her investigations, the local civilians are gathered in an open area and forced to stand in a line. Moments later, the soldiers open fire on them with machine guns, killing them mercilessly. Wendy witnesses the entire massacre with horror. Realizing the importance of the moment, she begins secretly taking photographs as proof of the crime. While she is capturing the images, General Hasib Rafenda notices her. Understanding the danger, Wendy and her assistant immediately try to escape. They run through the area in panic, but Rafendek opens fire. Her assistant is shot and badly wounded. Knowing that the photograph she carries could expose the general and his crimes, Wendy makes the painful decision to leave her assistant behind in order to protect the sensitive evidence. She runs into the forest as Rafendek chases her on horseback. After a short and terrifying pursuit, Wendy is eventually captured. Her assistant is later executed by Rafendek's trusted man, Zaman. Wendy is then taken to Rafendek's stronghold, a heavily fortified compound hidden deep within the mountains. Inside the compound, Rafendek interrogates her. He shows Wendy the photograph she had taken earlier, proving that he already knows what she was trying to expose. Wendy demands to contact someone back home, but Rafendek responds by slapping her.
I'd like to speak to Ephraim Marcone at the...
What do you think you are?
He then hands her a piece of paper containing a pre-written statement and orders her to read it on camera. The scene then shifts to a US airbase in Germany, where Major Don Harding and his Special Forces team are stationed. Wyatt is going through emotional heartbreak, and the team tries to lift his mood through casual conversation and humor.
Help me out here. I know
You're a good man.
I love you very much.
Suddenly, a soldier arrives and urgently asks Don to watch a video message. In the video, General Rafendek appears with Wendy held captive beside him. He announces that Wendy has been convicted of espionage and will be executed within 72 hours. However, he claims he is willing to negotiate. In exchange for Wendy's life, he demands the release of several imprisoned war criminals who were once his allies during the conflict.
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, in exchange for the safe return of your spy. You have 72 hours to release our freedom fighters.
Meanwhile, back at the camp, Wendy is treated harshly and kept under strict guard. Despite the abuse, she refuses to break. She tells them that they can kill her if they want, but others like her will continue coming to expose the truth. Her courage clearly angers Rafendek. The recorded message soon reaches US intelligence agencies, and the situation quickly escalates into a serious international crisis. Due to political pressure and diplomatic risks, a full military invasion is considered too dangerous. After intense internal discussions, a difficult decision is made. The same Special Forces unit led by Major Don Harding will be sent in once again for a covert rescue mission. Meanwhile, in Bosnia, General Rafendek meets with the country's president. The president warns him to step back and release the American woman, explaining that he does not want the United States military setting foot on their land. He fears that any American involvement could create international backlash and further destabilize the region. However, General Rafendek reacts angrily to the warning. He tells the president that from now on, things will be done his way. He also states that it is already too late to back off, as he has already sent the videotape to the Americans and forced their hand. Back at the US Air Base, Major Don Harding is briefed on the developing situation. During the briefing, it becomes clear that Don shares a painful personal history with General Rafendek dating back to the Bosnian conflict. Don recalls how he was once captured by Rafendek's forces, beaten severely, and tortured while being held as a prisoner. The memories still haunt him, but despite this emotional burden, Don agrees to lead the mission, fully aware of the risks involved. The team receives clear orders: locate the hostage, gather intelligence on Rafendek's movements, and prepare for extraction once Wendy's position is confirmed. With very little time and extremely hostile territory ahead, the mission officially begins. The Special Forces unit deploys secretly into Moldonia, marking the start of what may be their most dangerous operation yet. After arriving in the region, Major Harding and his team set up a temporary base in a remote and hidden area. Their top priority is to gather information on General Rafendek's whereabouts and daily movement patterns. Disguised as locals, Don and Jess enter the city to conduct reconnaissance. While moving through the streets, they are spotted by Zaman, one of Rafendek's most loyal and dangerous men. Jess warns Don to turn back, sensing trouble, but Zaman begins following them closely. The tension builds as the distance between them shortens. Just as the situation is about to turn violent, a woman named Sarah suddenly appears, pushing a baby carriage. She approaches Don and Jess naturally, pretending they are a normal family. Quietly, she reveals that she is carrying a hidden gun and skillfully misleads Zaman, making him believe they are harmless civilians. Zaman eventually loses interest and walks away. Later, US intelligence provides limited information, explaining that Raffendek rarely stays in one place. To help navigate the region, the team officially meets Sarah, a local woman who agrees to work as their informant. She has lost several family members during the ethnic violence and knows the terrain better than anyone. She apologizes to Don for arriving late and leads him and his team to a hidden safe house.
Don't worry, it's safe here.
Inside the building, the soldiers sense that something is unusual. Hearing faint sounds, they follow the noise to a walk-in closet. They break it open and are surprised to discover a secret room filled with children. The kids are being taught in hiding, as militant groups have banned schooling in the area. Touched by the quiet resistance, the team feels hopeful. They smile, interact with the children, and cheer them up by giving small gifts, briefly reminding everyone of the humanity still surviving in the middle of war. After this, Don and Jess head out again with Sarah, who guides them through the city. She points out a specific building where she suspects the American hostage might be kept. She also shows them the president's residence, explaining the heavy security presence and the guards positioned around it. The tension in the area is clearly visible, and Don realizes how dangerous every movement has become. As they begin returning, they notice a motorcycle quietly following their trail from a distance. Sensing danger, Jess prepares his weapon, while Don increases the speed to escape. The chase continues through narrow streets until a sharp turn causes the biker to suddenly stop when a large truck blocks his path. With no way forward, the biker is forced to turn back, allowing Don and Jess to temporarily get away. However, their relief is short-lived. They are soon stopped at a military checkpoint and ordered to step out of their vehicle. The soldiers begin inspecting the car thoroughly. During the search, a hidden walkie-talkie is discovered under Jess's seat, instantly exposing them. A violent fight breaks out as the soldiers attempt to arrest them. At that exact moment, the biker from earlier suddenly appears. He opens fire and shoots one of the soldiers, creating chaos at the checkpoint. Using the distraction, Don and Jess manage to escape. The biker then introduces himself as Talbot, a British SAS operative working independently in the region. He urgently tells them to leave the area immediately before reinforcements arrive. As they drive away, a small boy is seen watching everything silently from behind a pile of debris, unnoticed by the soldiers. Back at the safe house, Talbot explains his situation. He reveals that his SAS partner was killed by Raffendek's men during a previous operation. Since then, Talbot has been operating alone, tracking Raffendek for months in search of justice. He also shares that his partner left behind a pregnant wife and 2 children, and because of this, Talbot refuses to leave the region without some form of payoff or closure. The team respects his loss and appreciates his courage. They ask for his help, knowing he understands the terrain better than anyone, but Talbot refuses, saying he has his own plan and cannot get involved in their mission.
Just not the way I work.
Meanwhile, Zaman reports to General Raffendek about suspicious men seen moving through the city. Calm and confident, Raffendek tells him that he already knows the Americans have arrived. Soon after, it is revealed that the young boy seen earlier is secretly working as a spy for the general, feeding him information. Later that night, Syra helps the team carry out their next move. She stops a Bosnian army vehicle by pretending to ask for assistance. When one of the soldiers steps out, Don and his team launch a sudden ambush. The soldiers are quickly overpowered and killed, except for the driver, who is spared. The team then puts on the soldiers' uniforms to use as disguise for the next phase of their mission. Before moving out, Don thanks Syra sincerely for her bravery and support. Knowing the danger she faces, he bids her farewell and acknowledges the risk she took to help them as the mission continues toward its most critical stage. The team manages to enter the enemy camp while disguised and begins quietly observing the movement of the soldiers. They carefully study guard positions, patrol routes, and communication patterns. As Don watches the area, he suddenly experiences another painful flashback from his past encounter with General Raffendek. Memories of his earlier capture and torture distract him for a brief moment. During this lapse, the driver suddenly betrays the team. He alerts the enemy, and within seconds, gunfire erupts from all directions. The soldiers quickly regain control and return fire. A fierce gun battle breaks out as chaos spreads through the camp. The team abandons the vehicles and takes defensive positions, fighting their way out under heavy pressure. Just when the situation becomes critical, Talbot suddenly appears once again. Displaying exceptional combat skills, he engages the enemy with precision and confidence. Talbot hijacks one of the trucks and helps the team escape the camp safely, driving them out of hostile territory under constant fire. They all return to the safe house, hoping to regroup, but they arrive too late. General Rafendek is already there, interrogating Syra about the Americans. Don and his team immediately take cover and observe from a distance, unable to intervene without exposing themselves. Bosnian soldiers begin arresting everyone inside. The children are dragged out and loaded into military vehicles along with Syra. During the chaos, one soldier notices the ring necklace Wyatt had earlier given to one of the children. He snatches it violently. The boy begins crying and begs for it back, but the soldier pushes him to the ground. Unable to stay silent, Sarah steps forward to protect the child. In response, one of the soldiers shoots her without hesitation, killing her on the spot. Watching helplessly, Wyatt becomes furious and wants to open fire immediately, but Don stops him, knowing that any action would get everyone killed. With heavy hearts, the team is forced to retreat and find another secure location. Meanwhile, Wendy is shown imprisoned inside Rafendek's mountain compound. She is kept under constant surveillance and tortured repeatedly. Despite the pain, she refuses to surrender. Enraged by the Americans' presence, Rafendek orders his men to tear the city apart to find them. His forces raid homes, beat civilians, and torture innocent people, forcing entire neighborhoods to evacuate. At the same time, President Hrankov attempts once again to reason with General Rafendek, urging him to stop the violence. Rafendek coldly dismisses him, mocking him and telling him to go home and count his money instead of interfering. Later that night, Don and his team launch a bold move. They infiltrate the president's residence under darkness, silently killing the guards. They hold President Hrankov at gunpoint and demand information about the American hostage. Fearing for his life, Hrankov finally reveals Wendy's exact location and pleads with them to leave the country immediately after rescuing her. With the information secured, Don and his team move toward the target site. They begin the rescue operation by eliminating the guards outside and pushing deeper into the building. Inside, Wendy hears the gunfire and realizes that someone has finally come for her. One Bosnian soldier enters her room intending to kill her, but before he can act, he is shot dead by the Special Forces team. Wendy is freed at last. The soldiers inject her with medication to restore her strength and stabilize her condition. Weak but conscious, she is quickly escorted outside and loaded into the escape vehicle. As the team drives away, an injured soldier lying on the ground pretends to be dead. Once the vehicles leave, he slowly reaches for a walkie-talkie and contacts General Rafendek, informing him that the Americans have taken the hostage and are trying to escape. On the other hand, Don contacts the airbase and informs them that the hostage has been rescued, asking for immediate extraction. As they reach the pickup location, Talbot bids them farewell. Don asks him to let go of his personal fight and return with them, but Talbot refuses, saying he still has plans of his own. The team soon spots their rescue plane and waits for it to land, but suddenly it is shot down by an enemy missile. Realizing they are under attack, the team quickly takes cover as General Rafendek approaches with his army. Hearing the gunfire, Talbot turns back to help his friends. Meanwhile, Don tries to contact the airbase for air support as they become completely surrounded. Jesse covers the team by driving a vehicle and helps them reach a nearby forest, but Zaman takes aim and shoots him. Bear stays behind to hold off the enemy, buying the others time to escape. He continues fighting until he is surrounded and shot multiple times, falling to the ground and dying. Inside the forest, Reyes is hit by a missile and goes down, while Don and Jess try to escape with Wendy. Don and Jess stay behind to fight as Wyatt moves ahead with Wendy, but they are soon captured by Zaman. Elsewhere, Reyes continues fighting until his gun runs empty. With no other choice, he pulls out a hand grenade and charges at the enemy, blowing himself up along with them. Don later regains consciousness and finds General Rafendek standing in front of him. Rafendek shoots Jess in front of Don and knocks him unconscious with a powerful punch. Soon after, President Hrankov is brought before Rafendek in handcuffs. Calling him a traitor, Rafendek executes him without hesitation. Inside a prison cell, Wyatt tells Don that he is proud to be part of his team. Don replies that they should save their words because the mission is not over yet. Wyatt is then chained and taken to Rafendek, who orders him to read a pre-written script on camera. When Wyatt refuses, Rafendek repeatedly beats him. Meanwhile, Talbot infiltrates the compound undercover, he plants explosives, kills several soldiers, and collects their weapons. He then frees Don, and a massive shootout begins. Hearing the gunfire, General Rafendek heads out with his men. Talbot provides cover while Don enters the building to rescue Wyatt and Wendy. Talbot and Zaman come face to face and exchange gunfire. At the same time, Don confronts Rafendek inside the building, and a brutal fight breaks out. Don overpowers him and throws him beneath falling rubble. Elsewhere, Talbot manages to overpower and kill Zayman. As Don attempts to free Wendy, Rafendek suddenly reappears and attacks him again. This time, Don tortures Rafendek the same way he was tortured years earlier. Rafendek screams in pain as Don stabs his hands with a knife. Don then helps Wendy escape while Talbot goes to rescue Wyatt. As flames spread through the compound, Rafendek watches helplessly. All four manage to escape the building together, and Wyatt recovers his ring necklace from one of the soldiers. Moments later, the fire ignites a missile, which launches directly at Rafendek, killing him instantly. The team escapes in a vehicle as the planted explosives detonate, destroying the entire base within seconds. Don then contacts the airbase once again and requests extraction. Shortly afterward, a helicopter arrives and the survivors safely return to the United States.